Hello, I am the patchwork of God. It is Saturday, the 13th of June, 2026. I took off my scarf today because it is it's comfortable for me to just take off my scarf today and just be transparent because I'm beautiful with or without it. That's why so many of my napkin Voodoo Mafia family and their crew. This is segment 4. It might be all over the place, but it's patchwork for when I get in a place where the finale will be put together nicely, and it will be my venture of expressing myself through the turmoil of family, frenemies, classmates, former classmates, former co-workers and employers. Yeah, so it's patchwork. It might be all over the place, but, and I know in my first one I said, you all will have to decide whether or not it's true or false. So, but most of what I'm saying is, no, all of what I'm saying is true, but I'm trying to use different names, not to say the people names, but I don't know why I'm doing that, because on my other channel, I identify differently, hashtag 1850, I tell their names. On the Eye of Ra, I have said names. So let's just get into my napkin Voodoo Mafia family series with how I want it to be, period. Because it is my thing, not nobody else's. And when I put it together perfectly after I'm out of this chaotic situation, I'm going to look back at my videos that nobody should not be taking as their own because it's not yours. Go buy you some nacho chips because this is not yours. Neither am I. It seemed to be some of these people in this Voodoo Mafia family, they think that I'm a possession instead of a human being that possesses a spirit that does not resonate with their low vibing energy. And so they intrusively stalk, watch, and try to block. And where I am, somehow, somewhere, some people have these, you hear the ambulance, they try to get me off my frequency. But I decree and declare I'm on my right frequency. So we let it pass by. Return to sender. Go ahead on with all that noise. These people crazy. They like, some people walk with a they almost act like robots. They so demonically oppressed with witchcraft. And anyway, let's move on from that, because these people around here, some of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, but a lot of them are demonically oppressed and operating under a lower frequency because they practice divination, witchcraft, and some of them are being ran by a necromancer who is using them as a interceptor. Look it up with Harry Potter, because a lot of them here like to look at Harry Potter and read up on his spells. Now, that brother figure, Archibald, the psychopath, the one who can't tell the truth to save his life, while sharing an apartment with him at 1730 Dixon Boulevard, Cocoa, Florida, 32922. Yeah. While staying there with him, the same apartment that he illegally had me evicted from because they needed to get my paperwork for whatever plastic or imposter syndrome female or transgender nutcase that's trying to be me. That will be John Henry Williams and Kenny James Britt and Archibald, the brother figure. They're all sleeping with one another, literally. They all have HIV. Now, I don't know who gave it to who, because the brother figure, while he sent me on errands because he's supposedly, quote unquote, so sick because of a heart condition where he was scamming and defrauding the military for money. So he undoubtedly got together with some of the secret societies in the military. I hope that's not Mr. Lloyd Austin. Anyway, that I may have seen on one of these buses acting like you're in a, but you could be in a wheelchair, I don't know. But anyway, I could have swore that was you with a mask on. Your eyes say everything, right? You can wear a mask, but your eyes, you look just like Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin, I'm going to need for you to leave me alone, or you're going to be carrying your old self to prison. I don't care what kind of acclimates you have in society or with the military, you are committing domestic terrorism against a citizen, a kingdom citizen in the United States of America. Because I don't belong to the Matrix. Okay, because y'all play tricks. Y'all make movies off of people's true life and then make like it's not a true situation. But anybody with a brain and using it knows that Single White Female, that movie can very well be done in the society that we live in because of Voodoo Mafia, secret society, criminal rings such as this that is trying to come up against single, indigenous, melanated star Bella. And, I'm not going to say all of the Pentagon is guilty. But I know, Mr. Lloyd Austin, you retired. And you know that wheelchair could have been a farce to throw me off. But I kept looking at you on the bus. I'm like, God, his face looks so familiar. He looks like... And then I had to Google it. And I said, yes, that's who he looks like. That man right there. You seem to have dyed your hair. But anyway, neither here nor there, because y'all know y'all sneaky. Anyway, so Archibald, the one who defrauded the military, he advised me while living with him because of the organized criminal gang stalking ring that he and the family that I knew as family were doing to me when I try to handle any type of business. So when I had to move every year, when I was a good tenant, paying my rent on time, never faced an eviction except while living with Archibald the prick, who they needed me to be in an unsafe environment out here on my own, and hoping that I will fall prey to drinking, drugging, laying down with anybody. I don't know how they thought that. I mean, if I was single living with you, trying to help you, but I'm going to the store or can go to the movies anytime I feel like it, why wasn't I doing it then? That's what I guess that's what God means when he say that if your house is empty, Satan will come back with 7 more demons. And I guess, Satan leaves periodically while he leaves those 6 demons with you. And then he brings 7 more back, or 7 demons. I don't know. But anyway, so, a lot of people walking around here with legions of demons, infected with legions of demons. But of course, Satan is crafty, so you would never know that. Hopefully you find out before it's too late. Like I found out, but I found out at a critical condition after my financial resources became cut from making us, having a salary or having an hourly wage. And then so when the spell work kept backfiring, I guess, because it would be like, okay, here go 1 week, Archibald this is. And then the next week he got to go into the hospital because something's going on with his heart or his lungs, or probably the HIV that he didn't want to tell nobody that he has. But I noticed that, certain people end up having some type of fungus on their foot like he did. And, or they have this itching sensation, and just maybe a skin issue like they tried to make me have by doing witchcraft. But I'm so grateful that the Most High has put a protection manual over me against you. Now, it's very sad that you people have to possibly go through that sickness, but I didn't give it to you. It was your lifestyle that gave it to you. God knew you before you even started hanging out with your criminal gang crew. He knew you before you came out of the womb. That's what the word says. So he knew what y'all were all about. I just didn't know until he wanted me to know who you were. That's why I can say, okay, I stayed too long, or maybe I didn't. I left in God's timing because it was his timing that allowed me to escape your brutality that you wanted to impede on my mind, body, mental, and everything else, like you're steadily trying to do now, that I'm so grateful is not working. May the Most High avenge me of all of you and send it back to you. Return to sender on every timeline, dimensions, and realms. Because there's a scripture that says, I believe it's in Psalms, that even from my youth, my enemies have tried to take me out. But God intervened and would not let that happen. And I'm grateful that he would not let that happen to me, because as a little vulnerable child, that's why in Psalms he also say, bless the needy, the poor, and the vulnerable, because when someone puts your back up against the wall, make you homeless, you are out here a little vulnerable. So the Most High intervenes on your behalf, especially if you're praying and you're faithful and you're not out here harming somebody else or trying to do witchcraft on them. I tell you to your face, I do send it back to you. If anybody is sending me any harmful magic, universe, please reverse it, transmute it, and send it back to them. And let the word of God, whatsoever a man soweth, let them reap. If you take your hands, your mouth, your feet to do dirt, evil, that the quiet ones in the land are not bothering you with, not even paying you any attention, but you steadily over here in our life trying to rule and mask it and control it, not so. Return to sender. You gots to go. You're like a Goliath that don't want the star Bella or any other butterfly to grow into a butterfly and excel and go about their way. No, you all are like leeches and crabs. You want to step on the snail or the centipede before it can grow into a butterfly and be able to fly away from you. But God intervened all the time. And then, you know, when I say former classmates came against me, Delatron, Aramis, Dora Perry. I wonder what happened to Bridget Smith. You know, so many people have changed their face, but I don't think that's Chloe. I don't think, but I don't know. Because I know when they change their face, they also change their date of birth. Like they had my son say he's 10 years younger than what he really is. The one you forced to have to turn into a transgender. And God only knows if John Henry Williams slept with him too, and that shot he has to take is about the HIV that he caught from you. It's really sad, people. Yeah, it's sad. John Henry Williams is the one that Sandra Red paid her and the other family members, cronies, witches and warlocks, paid to come date me to try to give me a deadly disease. I think I seen one of your exes, John, yesterday on the bus. Did you send her to follow me? Lisa, were you following me? Anyway. And you know, let's see, I had Verizon, I had Boost Mobile, T-Mobile, Cricket, Straight Talk. That's what I have now. But while at the Crisis Stabilization Unit, Jalissa Wilson, you work at T-Mobile. Are you the one that was messing with my phone when I had that service and you done told the other gang stalkers how to do it? Or are you still on my phone? I don't know. You know, so many, when you look at the small print, a lot of these straight talk has now turned into Verizon, a product of Verizon, right? So, you know, when they have these little croony employees who do not know how to act and relish that you have a job that's fairly decent, not a backbreaker, and then you go into criminality by teaching, allowing people to clone a person's phone and trying to shadow ban their YouTube channel by cloning this person's phone, or their TikTok channels, or any other platform like Cash App. If you try to do that, and what is going on today, people? When you apply for a job, you got to go to LinkedIn. I believe I seen where they were in some type of trouble now. Associated with Google, yeah, because of low-life employees with Google, or maybe even Target, or whatever store or company I have visited, Starbella, that is, have visited, or city, town, or state I have visited, and was met with adversity that wasn't brought on by me coming in there in a rage, like I've seen, you know, some people who are maybe on some type of substance, or they have some type of mental illness and they are enraged. I'm always coming quietly, using manners, but being met with adversity, with you trying to say something slick out your mouth, that perhaps maybe that mother figure say, oh, say this where she can hear you. It will irritate her. I rebuke myself. It will no longer irritate me. It will just let me know that you are a frenemy, a foe, an enemy. That's all. That you work with those that I know are trying to irritate me, bother me. But at any rate, while living, it was in Titusville, Florida. The landlord, last name was Perry. I stayed there for a year, but not really there. I was spending most of my time with my daughter, who also betrayed me, making sure, you know, while she's doing her CNA thing, that her children were safe and they were kept and they were going to bed on time so they can get up for school. And lo and behold, her apartment was like 10 minutes away from my 15-and-a-half-year job. But even with that, they had cameras in the ceiling watching. And somehow they convinced my daughter, after convincing my son in 2007, to do a disappearing act, as if his friends that he was hanging out with had harmed him some kind of way and disposed of his body. And at the time, I was married to Kenny Britt at that time, who leaves like in the wee hours of the morning. And this is when this happened, when I get a phone call from the quote-unquote my son's girlfriend, Tara. So he leaves for work. But what I believe happened is, because Kenny Britt is also a part of this charade to unalive me, steal from me, block my life from excelling, from living everyday activities. All these people are trying to enact 48 laws of power against me. And I'm so grateful that that's not happening, and it won't continue to be projected at me, that one day soon these people will be taken down. They will be brought up on charges for trying to unalive me. And unaliving me, you know, I look at it as when you cannot properly care for yourself, your body can start to develop sicknesses, and somebody is trying to continue this charade, delay my justice. And as some of you know, on my other channels, I've contacted Governor DeSantis, former Attorney General who has been in that office more than once, Pam Bondi, and she's been contacted by me more than once. And former Attorney General Ashley Moody. I've even contacted U.S. Attorney General Merrick, President Trump. But, you know, I don't know what's going on in the background, but what I do know is this family dynamic has teamed up with somebody in the government to be able to, when I had apartments, make sure that my light bill is way expensive for a person who's gone for 8 hours at her job, not leaving anything on, don't have a pet to be, you know, keeping anything on outside of normal living. Just making my utilities more expensive, and then making me have to move every year when I'm paying my rent on time, which brings me back to Mr. Rick Perry, I believe your name was. You paid back some of my deposit, and there was a discrepancy with it, and at the advice of the diabolical psychopath brother, he said, don't cash that. I'm gonna contact something to do with housing discrimination of Florida, where you make complaints about landlords not giving you your proper deposit back. And so with that waiting, after I was like, well, you know, let's just go ahead and I think I waited maybe over 3 months without cashing that check. And then when I went to go cash it, it had ran out of the statute and the bank wouldn't honor it. And then that is when I contacted the former landlord and see if he would write another check, because you still owe me that money if I didn't cash it. And at the advice of this stupid brother, but keep in the back of your mind, the Voodoo Mafia family was the one who was stalking me the whole time. So at his advice, because I was trusting an older brother figure whom I thought was telling me the right of way, because we are being stalked, not knowing he is my stalker too. So I lost that $400-something check Never got that money paid to me, Rick Perry. Did it go to somebody else? Did it go to Sandra or to Randy? The one who got a false POA on me? I don't know how you managed to do that. If I did early retirement to help you and put on my FMLA while working there trying to salvage my job and take some time off from the job to help you, and then you snake me and get a false POA on frivolous lies, where when I go to the doctor because I was experiencing some symptoms like arthritis, so the arthritis doctor, they told me to call him Dr. A because his name is kind of long, which he was acting like an A, I guess, you know, it's very, very befitting. He would treat me some type of way because I'm going to the doctors by myself. So I would, you know, in Florida, I don't think you can record people. In certain states, you can't record people. But unless you're making a video, you know, and they just happen to keep speaking on your video. But anyway, that particular doctor, the arthritis doctor, was treating me some type of way, not providing me what I need and giving me a proper diagnosis. Because of the trauma and the anxiety and the stress of being stopped and having an energy weapon being projected on you throughout the night after you finish working at your 8-hour job, being harassed there, and your co-workers trying to bully you, so your body is not resting. So that other book that I have mentioned, I can't think of the name, but we know that stress and anxiety can cause a lot of different diseases, like autoimmune diseases, and or mimicking of that can start to happen in your body if someone is doing magic to project it on you because they possibly have it and they're trying to energy harvest off of you. Nevertheless, I was having unexplained illnesses, and with these people steadily trying to prolong my justice. That's why I say this is attempted murder. With you people trying to intentionally put me through trauma, stress, and anxiety. Reaching out to a judicial system that seem to be ignoring. Certain people may be ignoring, certain people may not. I don't know. But anyway, that's one thing that that diabolical brother did. Then he said, "Oh, I'm going to use my VA loan to purchase a house so we can move out of this apartment, so we won't be bothered with gang stalkers." So he had me going around to different realtors because he's not feeling well, faking the funk when I'm not there. In the apartment at 1730 Dixon Boulevard, there was a lot of Honduran, Guatemalans, Mexicans, Spanish individuals, a lot of men who work, you know how they do. They go to work, come back drunk. But anyway, I believe a lot of them he was paying gift cards to to do little things to stalk me, harass me, or try to flirt with me, and none of that worked because anyway, I'm not into dating when I know that I'm being attacked. Okay. I want my stability. That's first and foremost. I want a home, a safe space that every American should have. And so anyway, I believe that Diabolical Brother was sleeping with some of those Spanish nationalities. So y'all might want to go get checked. Because he said himself, you know, a lot of those Spanish guys, they be gay and they send their money home to their wife. Now, how would he know that? Unless when he give you a gift card, you're sleeping with him, who is, I believe, infected with HIV because he knows the one, John Henry Williams, who is infected with HIV, and they all sleep together. So, and the ex-husband know John Henry Williams too. So, you know, you girls or whatever y'all are who is stalking me because y'all with these catfishers and want to live off of you and have you looking like a donkey because they looking like one, stalking me, y'all need to go get your blood work checked too. Okay. Anyway, because I don't know what they told you about me. As you can see with paperwork, you can clearly see that that was a lie. So, anyway, let's move on. This Diabolical Brother, who also lived in one of the establishments of quote-unquote VA apartments for veterans that he shared, you know, a room with. He shared an apartment with, should I say. He said, oh, they kicked me out. So after a year, this was after I split with John Henry Williams. There he go again, wanted to come stay with me when he could have went and stayed with his mother, who's a witch. Because when her daughter comes down from Texas, she would stay with her mother, or she would go stay with Nita. So anyway, I don't know why he insists on coming to stay with me, because they were doing things with my paperwork where he was trying to see, well, what is she doing? Is she doing anything that I can get her with, that I can incriminate her with? Because that's going on too. These people are murderers. They commit bank fraud, wire fraud. They sexually exploit me, so I know they must be doing that to other people, including my lineage. Because that's how, you know, my son Daniel, I don't know how he got off the path of being a humble child from living with his father, because when he was young, we did an agreement for him to go live with his father while my two other children remain with me. And you can call it selfish, or you can call it, okay, I thought it would be at the best interest for his father, who that was his firstborn, to keep him. And I visit him. He comes to visit us on the weekend. don't know what happened. He was about, I want to say 4 when this transpired, where he went to go stay with his father. And I had to end up paying his father child support. Somehow, CPS got involved while he was staying with his father. So I believe in my heart of heart that spell work was being done because that particular child, excuse me, somebody's trying to stop me from talking. That particular child, at a very young age, had very strong epilepsy, but he grew out of it. So I'm thinking that was also a spiritual attack. Because the mother figure who hates me wants to see me gone because she lied and is committing fraud. Her and her son possibly getting Social Security benefits off my back while I'm out here homeless. And they're getting some type of money off of me, saying that they are my POA when they don't need to be. I have never had a mental instability that brings me back. When I fainted here in Ohio and went to University of Parma Hospital and then got stationed or sent to Elyria Hospital, which is a mental hospital, so that their lies that they are colluding to say that I have a mental instability when I don't. The only reason I agreed to it was wintertime in Ohio. I was raised, I believe, in Florida. And living in a car that someone intentionally did something to stop my heat from working, there's no way that I would have survived the brutal winter. And going to a shelter, being harassed and stalked, living in a shelter in an open forum where they can send anybody in there with a mental instability that could do harm to me while I am asleep. That's not an option either. That is like 48 laws again, trying to take my right to live a sound, peaceful life on this earth, which that is these people objective because they are committing Social Security fraud, life insurance fraud, identity fraud, human trafficking fraud by putting hidden cameras in my house and possibly putting it on the dark web. My vulnerabilities in the privacy of my apartment, wherever I am, exploiting me, making money off of my back, while steadily trying to put a hit to unalive me. The Voodoo Mafia family, the Napkins. And then to have doctors here in Ohio to blatantly lie and put on medical records, falsify that I have some type of mental disorder when I do not. So that many folks who ignored my plea for help, who have incriminated themselves in acts of violence against me, identity fraud, cloning my phone, which will be email fraud, impersonating, using my phone with phone jammers, making phone calls using my numbers, acting, pretending that they are me, whoever this fake wannabe who had plastic surgery to try to look like me, to steal my identity so that Sandra Red won't go to prison at 90. Her and her sisters, or one of them could be Mother, who knows, Shirley, the quiet one, the one who has a very distinctive laugh. Anyway, those quiet ones, because the ex-husband, he tries to act like he's quiet, but he's a whole devil. Secrets. Someone quiet, who has a lot of secrets, who's not transparent where he needs to be, where when he was in a committed relationship where he needs to be, he's not transparent because perhaps he had another whole family that I knew nothing about. Because on his side of the family, his mother and sister Cassie, Sarah, they're sick. They're intertwined in this voodoo mafia, church people, family bullcrap too. From South Carolina, Reevesville, Greensville. These church folk that practice witchcraft. Unalivened. Is that how Kenny father got murdered? Sarah, you did witchcraft on him because he was fooling around on you. He wasn't faithful. He wasn't loyal. And I guess after you got rid of the dad, that's how KJ kept going back to prison. And then KJ, quote unquote, slit somebody's neck, but KJ might be out of prison. Who knows? Because the people that I thought had did something to my son in 2007, they out walking around here in Ohio too. So done started a whole family, child. Our judicial system letting things go on and escalate because of secret societies that a lot of law enforcement are a part of, government officials are a part of. And it is secret societies that are prohibiting my safety and my exodus and my justice from this bull crap. And then they want pity because I believe they know deep down that somebody with a heart, a right mind, like their job, want to get advanced on their job, wants notoriety, upright, is also looking at them like, oh my God, the things that they are truly doing to this woman, trying to traumatize her. That's why, I tried to go to the park earlier, but someone was getting ready to set up a picnic there. And so I said, well, I'll just come to my car and sit because I don't, I know that people are following me just like that devil-headed. It has the nerve to have his hair red. While I was waiting on the busing system, trying to speak in another language from whatever secret society you are a part of. May all that confusion or whatever ritual you tried to do by standing in my face and trying to act like you're spiritual, that you serve the same God that I do, when you are a lying muskrat. Literally. Anyway, these people are diabolical. They are seriously, it's 50 minutes. I'm talking for a long time. But nevertheless, Archibald, he has false POA over me, using information that I knew nothing about, interceding my post office mail. People, I don't get mail. I haven't gotten mail since I left Vero Beach, Florida, where I was using the post office where, you know, homeless people can get mail delivered there for at least up to 30 days. I haven't found that luxury here. The post office that's near me in Palmer, they act like they don't do that. You have to go into Cleveland to do that. And I don't know where the Cleveland post office is. I'm sure I can find it, but you know, maybe a bus don't go there, maybe it's in a bad neighborhood. I know that I'm being stalked and followed everywhere I go, so I have to be very selective in the neighborhood or position that I put myself in, knowing that there is a hit out, because judicial officials here too are aware of the situation, and they are colluded with this pollution too. So, you know, you have to use your brain, and thank God, I pray for, some of these people who have problems with drinking, drugging, or prostituting their body. Some of you fell into the rat race and you gave up too soon, or you already had that issue and it just escalated into something else. And knowing what I know, they have so many programs out there for you to get help, I think. And when I say I think, when I was in the crisis stabilization unit, some of you, I don't know what you call social workers or therapists that work there, some of you need help, because you were trying to attack me while I'm there trying to get some solace from being homeless and thinking about my next move to get my stability, gain my footing, right? And so if there's wicked gatekeepers on jobs and they can see your light, they will steady try to knock you down, feed you BS instead of giving you the truth or sincerely helping you out of a situation. All that needs to be evaluated, because some of you therapists in these programs, y'all are sick. Your behavior is sick. And you're not genuinely helping the people. I guess that's why we still see so many people who have a drug problem, who have a mental instability. But thank God that is not my issue. And I'm not saying that to gloat. I'm saying that because God didn't give that to me. And I'm sorry that he gave it to you, because I know some of you have some brilliance in you. And if you keep up that activity, you're going to lose it. Like some of these people want me to lose my will to live. Not so. I want to live. I want justice. I want every evil projection that you send to me to go back to you. Because I'm not doing that to you. I'm only sending what you trying to give me back to you, which you rightfully deserve it, because I'm not messing with you. You have altered and interfered with my life, my safety, my welfare. And so the Most High has to intervene and show me favor. Not because I am worthy, because he is a just God and he sees all of you and all of your attacks. Just so unnecessary. But here we are, Goliaths. And you Delilah spirits trying to get into my energy, trying to see, how can we take her down? Thank you, Most High, that they won't be able to do that. I'm not trying to be unsuccessful. I'm trying to seek success, be successful, be somebody that I can look in the mirror and say, I did something that was good. Can you all do that? You're doing something, and it might appear to be good to you because you're wicked, and you want to make wickedness right instead of wrong. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go for now. This is the 4th series or section of Napkin Voodoo Mafia.